Here with Claw Mama Seafood. And if you missed my interview on WOCA Monday, well, you missed a lot. Let me ask you, do you like food prepared by hand with a home-cooked taste? Then you need to come by Claw Mama Seafood, right off the square in Ocala. That's Claw Mama Seafood. Just check us out on Facebook at Claw Mama Seafood or email us at clawmama@gmail.com.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Tuesday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt on a chilly Tuesday morning. I hate when mornings start out like this. I didn't want to get out of bed this morning. I got the heated mattress cover turned up to full blast, under two comforters and a sheet. I didn't even want to get out of the bed this morning. The guy that I know also didn't want to get out of the bed this morning, but he did. Galen Unal joins us as he does every morning. Galen, I was warm and comfortable in the bed almost. If it hadn't been for me having to come in because I wanted to talk to you so bad, I would have stayed in the bed.
Well, you could have just called me, and then we would have both just stayed right there.
Do you got the heated mattress cover?
No, and you talk about it all the time.
Oh, you got to get the heated mattress cover.
I don't have remote start. You're big time, Tom. You're big time.
The heated mattress cover, basically it's an electric blanket that you sleep on top of instead of under.
Yeah. Well, my wife right now is a walking hot box, though.
Well, yeah. But I like it because with all my aches and pains, it's like I sleep on a heated pad every night. It's fantastic.
I got you.
Fantastic.
I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I'm not jealous, but yeah.
Yeah. Woke up this morning, had ice. See, I don't like any time that I have ice anywhere except in a glass with sweet tea in it. I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
I agree with you.
Or a cooler with cold beer.
Outside.
Yeah, if you get a cooler with cold beer, I can handle that ice,
That's a little different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because now you got me thinking of July again, so that helps.
Well, that helps. So I was driving through my neighborhood yesterday. Well, actually Sunday. And you still see these people with the Trump flags and the Trump signs because they're Trump supporters. God love you, Trump supporters that still want to make sure everybody knows you're a Trump supporter. Riding around with your 20-foot flag in the back of your pickup, stuff like that. God love you, because he changed the political landscape. He turned the politicians up on their top of their heads by not being one of them. He was different. I get your support. But now I saw a sign yesterday in the Trump supporter yard that says, Joe Biden is not my president. Well, you're right. He's not your president until noon tomorrow. But what's your opinion on people that say, and they did it with Barack Obama. Barack Obama's not my president. Yes, he was. Donald Trump's not you said all the liberals. Donald Trump's not my president. Well, yes, he was. Well, what do you say to those people that adamantly say, not my president?
Well, yeah, I just disagree with them, and it's one of those things that I would love to, and I do this all the time. Like, well then who is? Well, we just don't have one right now. I'm like, well, okay, and I've always felt that the president has way too much power in people's heads because he doesn't have that much power according to the Constitution. And if you're going to plant a sign that says Biden's not my president in your front yard, then Joe Biden occupies way too much space in your brain every day. Let it go. He's the president. Go on with your life.
It's much more influential in your life, in your day-to-day life, if you said, Jeff Gold's not my county commission chairman.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be much more important.
Or the chief of police, or the sheriff,
right.
Or the mayor.
Billy Woods isn't my sheriff.
Right. Yeah, that stuff. I'm like, come on. Because the problem is politics has become like sports. Even sports isn't that devoted the way politics is now. Where people it's pretty rare for people to get in a fight now over the Red Sox versus the Yankees, for example. More people get in fights over the Republicans and Democrats, and that's sad. That you would fight over either one of them. I mean, anybody who's a Yankees fan just shouldn't even be living in the country.
Well, the Yankees are blue and the Red Sox are red, so right there, see, there's the problem.
That's probably true. Again, no one should ever be a Yankees fan.
You know what? We don't agree a whole lot sports-wise usually, but we're in lockstep right there. If you're a Yankees fan, you're the dregs of the earth. You just are.
Yeah. I mean, just support the president. You should pray for our leaders.
And you should pray for the Yankees to. You should pray for the Yankees to lose 130 games.
No. Yes, I don't pray against anyone. I don't think that's right. But I definitely don't pray for the Yankees.
No. As a lifelong Braves fan, facing the Yankees 3 times in the World Series, losing all 3 times, and having to lose to Joe Torre, who had coached the Braves and was abysmal as the manager of the Braves. Oh, I have no love lost.
One of their best players.
He was a great player for the Braves. But I have no love lost for Joe Torre or the Yankees.
Again,
None.
Joe Biden's your president. Just try to move on. Just move on. Focus. Well, you know what you should focus on? You should focus on the election in 2 years. Put that energy to voting for a House of Representatives that you want.
Yes.
Senators that you want. And be thankful we have DeSantis.
Yes.
We're open. Our COVID infections are going down here because we're open. Just be thankful that we're not somewhere in like California where they're still trying to arrest businesses for being open.
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. What kind of standoff do you see between Joe Biden and his, we got to shut down, we got to mask mandate, we got to do this, got to do that to get on top of this COVID, and governors of individual states that go, we're not closing. We're not doing it.
He has no authority over how the states run. He's just the president. He
can require it all in federal buildings, but he can't require a state to close.
Absolutely
he cannot
correct.
close the country because he doesn't. The country is not run by Joe Biden. That's what people seem to understand.
That's correct.
Is the president doesn't run the country. The president runs the federal government. Okay, the country is 50 individual states that give the power to the federal governments. The states have autonomy all on their own.
Here's what he can do. He can blackmail them because that's how the
federal
funds gets all the states to do. And so what he could say is, okay, I'm not going to give you any federal funding for X, right, unless you do a mask mandate. He can do that. Or unless you do a lockdown, or unless you close all bars.
Yeah. That's how Ronald Reagan.
The good news is, go ahead.
That's how Ronald Reagan got New Orleans, got Louisiana in line with the 21 and up drinking age, because Louisiana was like, okay, so what if Reagan says 21? We're going to be 18 and up because you're not going to stop what we do in New Orleans, which is a big party. And Reagan said, okay. No federal highway funds, no federal dollars for your airports, none of that. Right. And Louisiana got in lockstep.
Well, and they did that for the road systems, too, with speed limits. So, I mean, the federal government can blackmail states, and it's been proven okay by the Supreme Court. To me, the good news is he can't shut down Disney because Disney is one of the largest donors to the Democratic Party, the Disney family. So we got that going. And if you're not going to shut down Disney, then you can't shut down just about anything else. I found it fascinating that Trump decided he was going to open up all travel just about to everywhere right before he left. And I'm curious as to how Biden handles international travel.
Joe Biden has already said tomorrow one of his first executive orders will be to close back down travel to countries affected by COVID.
Well, I'm going to Costa Rica in March, and if he says I can't go to Costa Rica in March, he will not be my president. I may hang out with him.
All right, with that, we're going to take a break.
When we give amnesty to everybody's heroes by January 1. I mean, I don't know how much more harm you want to do to the country, but I guess he's going to do everything he can in 100 days.
I guess. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to tell you about a story out of Chicago that I found funny and frightening all at the same time. We'll do that next, right here on Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. We'd like to thank, along with Penn Flooring, for having Galen Unall here every morning. We'd also like to thank Palm Gardens Health and Rehabilitation Center. They're located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions about how they're handling COVID-19, give Palm Gardens a call, 352-854-6262. Once again, that's 352-854-6262. Let's go back out to the phone lines, join Galen Unall. Galen, I came across a story that I found intriguing, kind of funny, and scary all at the same time. You know what a squatter is, right?
Sure, of course.
Somebody who stays someplace that they're not allowed to stay or shouldn't be staying and lives there. And usually it happens, you know, you see it done. I know there's some big stories about some squatters that get sued to retain possession of a mansion that they squatted in Fort Lauderdale because nobody had lived in the mansion. It had been on the market for like 3 years, and they had been living there for 9 months. Actually, somehow got the lights turned on and everything, and they were like, it's our house. And they're still, I think this was 2 years ago, and it's still caught up in the court system, and they can't be thrown out of the house until it runs through the court system. That's a squatter that knew what they were doing, I think.
That's a professional.
Yeah, that's a professional. Well, here's a guy. You ever been to O'Hare Airport?
Yeah, sure have.
It's a vast, vast airport. Think of OIA 3 times over. That's about O'Hare Airport,
sure.
Wouldn't you say?
Sure.
Got the
yeah,
L.
Absolutely.
The L comes
Massive.
right into the airport. I mean, it's the second busiest airport in the United States after Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta.
Correct.
So it's
right.
very busy, very busy. Well, Aditya Singh, who's a 36-year-old from California, he flew into O'Hare back in late October and did the Tom Hanks Terminal movie. He never left the airport.
No.
He got off the plane from Chicago and never left the airport, never went into Chicago, not just stayed in O'Hare. He was found yesterday after 3 months. 2 United workers noticed him in an area that they thought he shouldn't be in, checked his badge, realized that his badge was not, the picture wasn't him. He allegedly said he found a fake ID badge. You know why he said he didn't want to return back to California? Why he left California, bought a one-way ticket to Chicago and didn't want to return to California?
Why?
He's scared of COVID.
I wonder if that'll work. If it gets tried in California, it'll work. Because the government's going to have to say, you know what, you're right, sir. You should be afraid.
Yeah, well, he's scared of returning to California because of the COVID outbreak. He's scared that it's out of control in California. He doesn't want to return. So he lived in the airport and he lived off other passengers' bumming food off other passengers, getting money off them and everything so he could buy stuff and everything. 3 months, 91 days he lived in O'Hare without anybody realizing he had lived there. Now, we laugh because he said he was scared of COVID. Ha, ha, ha. The airport says that they've vetted him now and everything. He was never a threat to passengers or planes or airlines. But how scary is it that this guy was able to go into the second busiest airport in the country and for 91 days just lived there and nobody ever even questioned that the same guy was there? How do you go 91 days without anybody questioning why you're there?
It just goes to show you how big it is. I wonder how long you could live in the Paddock Mall before somebody noticed it. Like, dude, do you ever leave?
Hour and a half.
2 weeks? No, that's probably true. I don't. If he walked around and acted like he knew what he was doing, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, he had an ID badge and everything. It just wasn't his picture.
I mean,
and he never went in restricted areas. He never went in restricted areas where the ID badge would be needed to be scanned or anything. He stayed in the common areas of the airport.
So is that illegal?
They've arrested him for criminal trespass.
Yeah, but don't you have to be asked to leave and then don't leave before you criminally trespass?
The reason the fake badge is what got him in trouble.
Oh, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, good for him, I guess.
The badge is what got him in trouble.
You know what he should have said? What he should have said is, look, I don't want to leave this airport. I don't want to get shot. I can't go back to California because of COVID. I'm kind of stuck here in no man's land.
Right, because you'll get shot in Chicago. That's a good point. Good point.
Apparently.
But
not in the winter, just in the summer.
Don't you try to figure out a way, though, while you're stuck in the O'Hare Airport, to maybe get a job at one of the hotels or something so you can crash in one of the pull-out couches while you're cleaning rooms or, get a rollaway or something?
I mean, it's too bad Tom Hanks already made the movie because you're not going to find a better actor. But I wonder if he'll write a book or something.
My 90 days at O'Hare Airport. And here's the thing.
Yeah, he'll be on Oprah or Jerry Springer or something.
Here's the thing. I've been to O'Hare numerous times. When I say numerous times, I've probably flown into O'Hare because I lived in Chicago for 14 months. So I've probably flown into O'Hare 45 times. We'd fly in on Sunday nights and fly out on Fridays back to Florida when my wife and I were living up there. I was going every day to the Mike Ditka Majestic Casino and playing cards in Gary, Indiana, while she was working at Northern Trust, building the back of the house computer system. So we lived in Chicago. So we would fly into O'Hare. We flew into O'Hare more than we flew into Midway, probably 3-1. Although Midway's not a bad little airport with Southwest and everything. But, you could catch United or TED back then. That's what United had their affordable airline called TED that you could fly in from Orlando nonstop to O'Hare. And then you just roll off the plane with your luggage, roll down to the bottom, get on the L and take the L right into downtown, get off right by the Hancock building. And we were the apartments we were staying at, the Raphael, we were right there. So you're right off Michigan Avenue. So O'Hare was really convenient for that. But you know what O'Hare's not convenient for? Anything else.
It's just so spread out.
It's ridiculously large.
So spread out. When you take the shuttle or whatever to whatever terminal you're going to, you're on there for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's an actual subway ride to the terminal from the airport.
It's not like 4 minutes. No, I'm serious. It's like 15 minutes. I always thought the location of it was perfect. The worst located airport is Houston. It's not even in Houston. It's like an hour and a half from downtown Houston.
The New Orleans airport. The New Orleans airport's in Metairie. It's like 35 minutes from Bourbon Street.
They had to do that because there's no other land.
Right.
Everything else is underwater.
Right. But that's still that 35 minutes till you get to Bourbon Street by taxi. You're watering for a hurricane by the time you get to Bourbon Street. I'm just telling you.
That's fair. At Houston, though, you could take a nap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally an hour and 10 minutes to downtown.
The Atlantic City airport is literally 40 miles outside of Atlantic City.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous on
Yeah,
the
it has
AC,
to be.
yeah, because Atlantic City's a
turnpike.
barrier island separated from land by a swamp. Because everybody thinks Atlantic City's a part of New Jersey. It is, but it's a barrier island, really. It's And then,
Sure.
The best located airport, although O'Hare's really located nice. McCarran Field is probably the best located airport in the country.
Terrible.
I mean, it's right.
not terrible.
You can, when you land at the airport, when you get out of the airport, as you're getting into your taxi, within half a mile, you can see the Strip in Las Vegas.
Yeah, the problem is in that between the getting your luggage and the taxi stand, you've got 7 or 8 flyers already. So, those little cards they pass out everywhere.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You know what also is, Dulles is good. I like where Dulles is and Reagan is.
Yeah, Dulles and Reagan and D.C. are pretty good places.
Yeah. And then, of course, LaGuardia is not bad. JFK is not bad because you can land depending on where you're going.
You know where you don't want to land?
Those
Newark.
aren't terrible.
You know where you don't want to land? Newark. Don't fly into that airport.
Well, the only reason you flew to Newark is because you didn't want to pay the extra $20.
Right. Because it's about $20-$30 cheaper to fly to Newark.
Right.
But what I like about the Vegas airport, McCarran Field, you do get a chance to strike it rich without ever leaving the airport.
That's very. That would have been a much better airport to live in.
Oh, yeah. And he'd been closer to California.
That's nice.
And he'd been closer to California once the pandemic was over. He could have returned home easier.
Yeah, they only have like 107 flights between L.A. and Vegas.
Every day. And if he had $20, he hits the slots. Now he's a rich man. Get him a nice room at the Hilton right there on the Strip or something.
Well, he'd have to leave if he hit too big. He'd have to get the voucher and then.
Got to go sign the paper. Got to sign the paperwork and everything.
Now we're in taxes and yeah.
Could not believe though, 91 days. Why was the reason you squatted here? One-way ticket, by the way. Didn't have a return ticket. No criminal record. Nothing nefarious in his background or anything. Just, I had to get out of California. I'm scared of COVID.
I wonder if somebody's looking for him.
COVID is.
If you're gone
COVID's
for that
looking
long,
for him.
COVID's probably his wife's name.
Yeah. You
Scared
think
of COVID. Who's coming
you think
out?
COVID-19's bad? Meet COVID Sing. I'll show you bad.
Yeah, it's probably his wife.
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be great. Yeah, I'm scared of COVID. Yeah, I understand, sir. No, I don't. Why do I need to wear a mask? Well, COVID. No, my wife will still recognize me.
Yeah, exactly. My wife knows who I am. That's not going to work. It's not going to work for me. The COVID is
Pretty good.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, he's adamant too that he doesn't want to return to California. He'd rather stay in jail on the criminal trespass charge than return to California.
That's pretty great. Great.
If you're gonna, O'Hare's not a bad airport if you're gonna live in it now, because you do have everything from 5-star dining all the way down to fast foods. You got everything you need there. You got some nice hotels if you got the money for it and everything. So,
absolutely,
you could take the L into the city, take it back to the airport.
I think they have like 8 or 9 Sabaras. So.
Oh yeah, you get your slice, and a Coke or something. Yeah,
absolutely.
Probably got a couple good sushi places in there. You can get some nice sushi.
Sure. Yeah. Again, though, it sounds like he didn't have the money for any of those things. No, he didn't. Pretty great.
And the fact that he sustained himself for 91 days by bumming food off of passengers and money off passengers, and nobody went and told a sky captain, hey, there's a guy in there bumming change to try to buy some McDonald's fries.
Well, who's going to tell? They're getting on a plane. They're heading to Dallas or to...
Here's $5. Leave me alone. Here's $5. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
You may have the COVID. I'm scared of you.
That's right. That's great.
That's a great story.
So great.
It's a great story, but then scary that he went unnoticed that long at the same time.
I guess. Seems harmless.
I guess. Hey, happy
If you're
birthday,
scared
real
of-
quick.
If you're scared, let's be clear. If you're scared of COVID, you're not really a threat to anyone.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Happy birthday, Dolly Parton today. All of Dolly Parton, every plastic piece she has. Happy birthday to her. Hey, Galen, tell us where the Bloodmobile is.
Dolly Parton is fantastic. Great documentary, by the way, on Netflix on Dolly.
Yes,
Everybody
it
should
is.
watch that.
It is.
Hey, today we're going to be out at the Walmart out there on 40 as you're going to the beach, which nobody's going to today because it's freezing. But you can dream about it and go to the Walmart, donate blood.
Thanks, Galen. Talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
All right, be good. Thanks, y'all.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
From the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
A deputy with the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office is dead following a car chase Monday night that ended with a shooting outside the Cal Expo racetrack. Another deputy was shot and is recovering at the hospital, and a canine dog was also shot and killed.
The officer that was killed is a 6-year veteran. He leaves behind a wife and an infant child.
Sheriff Scott Jones goes on to say the incident began with an attempted traffic stop a little after 10 p.m. Pacific on Monday. After crashing his car, he refused to get out. The canine handler then deployed the dog to try to get the driver out of the car. That's when the suspect shot and killed the dog and then began firing on deputies who returned fire. The suspect, a parolee, was shot and killed. Former Attorney General William Barr reportedly dismissed President Trump's claims that the 2020 presidential election was stolen. During that meeting in the Oval Office, Barr reportedly told the president that his theories about the election being stolen were BS. USA Radio News.
The stress levels of Americans may be at an all-time high. From education to business to basic needs to politics, the 2020 pandemic-related stressors are pushing many of us to near breaking point. That's why you should consider the stress and